Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going on a super fun adventure to explore the world of houses and clothes. You know, the things we see and use every single day.
That's right. We'll uncover how these everyday things are more amazing than you might think.
Okay, let's get started. First, let's think about houses. Why do we even need them? I mean, besides keeping our toys from getting rained on.
That's a great question. You're right. Houses keep us safe and dry from the weather like a big umbrella. They also protect us from wild animals and give us a place to feel safe and cozy.
Like a big warm hug.
Exactly. And inside our houses, we can relax and play games with our families and even decorate them to show off our personalities.
It's like a giant hug that you can color and design yourself.
Yeah.
Speaking of different designs, I learned that houses can be made of all sorts of things. The source material mentioned kucha and puka houses. Can you tell us about those?
You bet. Imagine building a fort in your backyard using branches and leaves. That's kind of like a kucha house. They're made with things found in nature like mud, straw, and wood. They're super cool and eco-friendly, but might not be as strong as a puka house.
So a puka house is more like building with Lego blocks, strong and sturdy.
Perfect analogy. Puka houses are built to last a long time using tough materials like bricks, cement, and steel. Think of those big apartment buildings or those cool modern houses you see in magazines. Those are puka houses.
Wow, so many different ways to build a house. What about people who don't stay in one place for too long? Do they carry their houses on their backs like turtles?
Well, not exactly. Some people travel a lot and they live in temporary houses like tents, caravans, or yurts. These houses are easy to pack up and move, perfect for adventurers who are always on the go.
That's so cool. No matter what kind of house you live in, I bet everyone's mom tells them to keep it clean, right?
Absolutely, and there's a good reason for that.
The source material mentioned these things called germs that can make us sick. What exactly are they? Are they little monsters hiding in the dust bunnies?
You could say that. Germs are tiny little creatures, so tiny you can't even see them with your eyes. But they're everywhere, and some of them can make you sniffle and sneeze. That's why it's super important to let sunshine and fresh air into our houses.
So that's why my mom's always telling me to open the windows. It's like a superpower against the germ monsters.
You got it. And remember, keeping your house clean and tidy is another great way to fight those germs. Putting away your toys and helping with chores is like being a superhero for your house.
Fighting germs and keeping our houses sparkling clean. Now that's a superpower I can get behind. And speaking of keeping clean, let's talk about clothes.
Great idea. Just like houses protect us from the outside world, clothes protect our bodies too.
That makes sense. But have you ever wondered what clothes are actually made of? The source material talked about something called fibers. What are those?
Fibers are like super thin threads that are woven together to make fabric the material that makes up your clothes. Imagine them like long, long pieces of string, but much thinner.
Wow. So all my clothes are just a bunch of tiny strings woven together. That's incredible. But where do these fibers come from? Do they grow on trees like apples?
Well, some of them do come from plants.
Wait, really? So my comfy cotton t-shirt is made from a plant?
Exactly. Cotton plants have these fluffy white balls, and inside are soft fibers that can be spun into yarn, just like you might spin wool into yarn. And guess what? That yarn is then used to make your t-shirt.
Wow, that's amazing. My clothes are like a secret garden. What about my cozy wool sweater? Where do those fibers come from?
That comes from sheep.
No way. So my sweater is made from a fluffy sheep's coat.
You got it. Their fleece, which is like their woolly coat, is carefully shaved off, cleaned, and then spun into yarn just like cotton. Then that yarn is used to make all kinds of warm and fuzzy clothes, perfect for when it's chilly outside.
This is so cool. So I'm basically wearing a cloud and a sheep at the same time.
You could say that. It's incredible how we can use materials from nature to make the clothes we wear every day.
It really is. I'm never going to look at my clothes the same way again. This deep dive is full of surprises.
And there's even more to it. Not all clothes are made for the same kind of weather. Have you noticed that you wear different clothes depending on if it's hot or cold outside?
You're right. I wear shorts and t-shirts in the summer and sweaters and pants in the winter.
Yeah.
But how do our clothes know what weather it is?
That's a great question. They don't really know, but the materials they are made of and the colors we choose help us stay comfortable in different temperatures.
And the color of my clothes matters too.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that more after a quick break. You were asking about how the color of your clothes can make a difference in how hot or cold you feel. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
Well, imagine you're standing outside on a sunny day. Have you ever noticed that dark-colored things like a black car or a dark t-shirt feel much warmer than light-colored things like a white car or a white t-shirt.
Now that you mention it, yeah. I definitely feel the heat more when I'm wearing my black clothes.
Exactly. That's because dark colors absorb more sunlight and turn it into heat. It's like they're soaking up all those warm sunbeams.
So wearing dark colors is like turning myself into a walking solar panel.
That's a great way to put it. And on the flip side, light colors like white or yellow reflect sunlight away, kind of like a mirror bouncing light back. So they help you stay cooler in the summer.
Wow. So wearing light colors is like putting up a shield against the sun's heat. I never realized how much science goes into choosing what to wear.
And that's not all. We've talked about natural fibers like cotton and wool, but there's a whole other world of fibers made by humans called synthetic fiber.
Ooh, synthetic fibers. Those sound fancy.
They are pretty cool. Two of the most common ones are nylon and polyester. You've probably heard of those.
Yeah, I think I have. But what makes them so special?
Well, they're both super strong and durable, which means they can handle a lot of wear and tear. Plus, they don't wrinkle as easily as natural fibers.
So that's why my superhero costume always looks so crisp and sharp, even after I've been flying around saving the day.
Exactly. Nylon is perfect for superhero costumes, but it's also used to make lots of other things like backpacks, ropes, and even toothbrushes.
Wow, that's impressive. What about polyester? What's that used for?
Polyester is great for making cozy jackets and sweaters because it's good at trapping heat. And it's often used in athletic wear because it helps to wick away sweat, keeping you dry and comfortable while you're working out.
That makes sense. Nobody wants to wear a soggy sweater while they're running a marathon.
Speaking of keeping things clean, you mentioned earlier how important it is to keep our houses clean and airy to get rid of those pesky germs.
Right. We don't want those tiny troublemakers making us sick.
Does the same go for our clothes?
Absolutely. Just like our houses, our clothes can harbor dirt and germs too.
Ew, that's gross.
That's why it's important to wash our clothes regularly, especially after we've been playing outside or sweating a lot. Washing our clothes helps to get rid of those yucky germs and keeps them smelling fresh and clean. So taking a bath and washing our clothes is like giving ourselves and our clothes a superpower shower.
That's a fun way to think about it. And drying our clothes in the sunshine can also help to freshen them up naturally.
That explains why my clothes smell so nice after drying on the clothesline. It's the sunshine magic.
Exactly. It's amazing how connected everything is, isn't it? From the materials we use to build our houses to the fabrics we wear. Science is all around us, making our lives better and more comfortable.
It really is. This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. I feel like I've learned so much about houses and clothes already. What stood out to you the most from our exploration today?
For me, it's been the realization that something as simple as choosing what to wear is actually a blend of science, practicality, and even a little bit of art.
I agree. What about you? What's been the most surprising thing you've learned today?
Well, I've always been fascinated by the ingenuity of humans and how we found ways to create such a wide variety of materials and designs for both houses and clothes. From simple huts made of mud and sticks to high-tech fabrics that can keep athletes cool and dry, it's incredible how we've adapted and innovated over time.
That is super cool. And it makes me wonder, what amazing new materials and designs will people come up with in the future?
That is an excellent question. With all the brilliant minds out there and the incredible advancements in technology, I'm sure the future of houses and clothes will be full of surprises. Who knows, maybe we'll have self-cleaning clothes or houses that can fly?
Whoa, now that would be amazing. This deep dive has sparked my curiosity and made me want to learn even more.
That's the best part of learning. The more we discover, the more we realize how much more there is to explore. And now let's wrap up this amazing adventure with some final thoughts.
It's mind-blowing to think about all the cool things people might invent in the future. But even with all this amazing technology, it's important to remember that we can make a difference right now with the choices we make every day.
Absolutely. We've talked about how our choices impact our comfort and health, but they can also affect the world around us.
That's right. They got a ripple effect. So what are some things we can do to make sure our choices are good for both us and the planet?
Well, when it comes to houses, we can think about using eco-friendly building materials and designing houses that are energy efficient. Imagine houses with solar panels on the roof or walls made of recycled materials.
Those are awesome ideas. It's like turning our houses into superheroes for the planet. What about clothes? What are some things we can do to make sure our fashion choices are planet-friendly?
Great question. One important thing is to choose clothes made from sustainable materials like organic cotton or recycled fabrics. And we can also support companies that treat their workers fairly.
That makes sense. It's all about making choices that are good for people and the planet.
Exactly. And remember, even small actions can make a big difference. Taking good care of our clothes by washing them properly and repairing them when they get ripped can help them last longer, which means we don't have to buy new clothes as often. That's good for our wallets and good for the environment.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. I'm definitely going to start taking better care of my clothes from now on. Maybe I'll even learn how to sew so I can fix them myself.
That's a great idea. Learning to mend and repair things is a superpower we can all develop.
This deep dive has been incredible. We've learned so much about houses and clothes, from the science behind them to how our choices can make a difference in the world.
It's been a fantastic journey of discovery. And remember, the best part is that learning never stops. There's always something new to explore and understand about the world around us.
So true. Thanks for joining me on this amazing adventure of knowledge. It's been a blast.
The pleasure was all mine. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those imaginations soaring.
And don't forget to keep exploring the amazing world of houses, clothes, and all the fantastic materials they're made of. There's a whole universe of discovery waiting for you. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.